Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. So as you all saw in the title, today I'm going to show you all how to make a Berkey water filtration system for half of the price of what a family-sized Berkey would cost you if you just bought it outright. Now this is a brand new system. The only thing is it's an FYI, not FYI, for your information, a DIY, a do-it-yourself system. And it's going to come in at about half the price of what a new one costs. A new one is going to run you about $350, $360 or more. And I do believe that the biggest ones they sell, I think, are 4-gallon systems. And I'm going to make a system that will be just as good for half the price. And I'm going to show you how. So hopefully you'll do it yourself. Okay, I'm going to go over a list of the items that I acquired in order to do this, okay, and about how much they cost. I'll say around how much they cost because I don't remember exactly the amount, but you'll be able to look it up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link to all of the items that I bought, and it was only 3 items that I purchased from Amazon. The other items I purchased from my local hardware store, and you should be able to find these items in any hardware store, okay? And what this is going to do for you is going to allow you to have a water filtration system that's just as good as a Berkey system for half the price, okay? And you can adjust it for your own needs, all right? And I'm going to tell you what I mean about that, okay? So the first thing I did was I ordered 2 Berkey water filters, okay? This is the Berkey water filters. There's another company out there that sells water filters that are said to be just as good as the Berkey, okay? And they're about, I want to say, a little less than half the price. These 2 Berkey water filters, I have one over here in the sink that I'm getting ready to prime, so I can show you guys how to prime it. These 2 Berkey water filters that I ordered was about $128. And if you get on Amazon, you can order 2 water filters that are similar to this. They look just like these actually, all right? But they're not made by Berkey, and they're only like $50 for 2. So I'm going to leave the link for those as well, so that if you want to, oh no.
What is this?
No, ladies and gentlemen, Victor just walked in. I'm teaching everyone how to make their own Berkey water system for about half the price.
A system of water.
Yes, where you can get dirty water and filter it to make it drinkable without you getting sick.
You can still drink it with dirt in it.
Yes, but it can get you very sick and you can die.
It makes stronger.
So
it makes you
Victor,
stronger.
Victor,
if you drink it, make you stronger.
No,
what does not kill you?
Not necessarily. I know what does not kill you will make you stronger, but you can die if you drink bad water. So it's very important.
Just do not die.
Well, some people don't have that option. Some people, if they drink bad water, they will die, whether they want to or not.
Tell them just not to.
Okay, but sometimes they don't have the option. Now, excuse me, Victor. Thank you. Say hi to everyone. Say hi, everyone.
No.
Okay. All right, well, we'll talk to you later. Ladies and gentlemen, I forgot where I was. So what I was saying, I do believe, is that I will leave the link to the optional water filters, the ones that are supposed to be as good as the Berkey, all right, but I've never used them before, right? But I went with the actual Berkey brand for this to show you guys, okay? So, like I said, these 2 water filters, about $128 for both of them, okay? But I will leave the link to this, and I will leave the link to the competitors' water filter so that you can try it out if you want to, all right? If you want to do this yourself. I recommend that you do this because it's a big money saver, and it's going to allow you to have a prep that will allow you to get good drinking water, and you won't have to worry about the water getting you sick, all right? Don't listen to Victor, all right? Because...
Yes, listen to me.
Don't listen to him, because if you listen to him, I'm not responsible for anything that he tells you guys, okay, ladies and gentlemen? And having said that,
technically, this is your channel. You are
Victor, why are you eating ice? Why are you eating? Did you buy that ice cream, Victor?
I did not.
Are you the one that ate the bag of potato chips yesterday that I brought home?
I did not eat a bag of potato.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, So, ladies and gentlemen, do this on your own. Try it out, and I'm going to show you something that I do. Victor,
what
stop.
What did you do for Klondike bar?
Victor's eating all the Klondike bars. Anyway, so, Victor, you're going to ruin this video, okay?
It was ruined when you started.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please excuse Victor, okay? There's something wrong with him. I think he just woke up, and he's not himself until he has his first Klondike bar of the day. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I'll leave the links to all of these things that I got so that if you want to get it yourself, you can go ahead and use that link and get it yourself. And I do recommend that you have a backup water filtration system. All right, I believe in redundancy, and I think the more the merrier. Okay, so this was the first item I got. The other thing I got was a spigot, and I actually went for the nice spigot. This is a stainless steel spigot, and it's all steel. It's not plastic. I like this because it's got a ball valve in there, a ball shut-off valve, and it only requires a quarter turn for you to turn it on and turn it off, right? And if for some reason one of the gaskets in there or O-rings in there goes bad, you can take this off and replace it. Okay, so this is the other thing I got. And this was pretty pricey. I think this was about $15, $16 for this. All right, but they do, if you want to do it on the cheap, you can. There's nothing wrong with using the plastic ones. They're a little less expensive. So you can use those if you don't want to use this one. And this also comes with a couple of gaskets, all right, and a little metal ring that you put on the outside. It comes for one for the outside and one for the inside. All right. The other thing that you're going to need is you're going to need 2 5-gallon buckets. All right. This is going to replace the stainless steel buckets or the stainless steel reservoir that you are going to be paying for if you buy the Berkey system. Okay. So buying this system that we're doing here, that we're making today, is the same thing as that Berkey system, with the exception that you're using 2 5-gallon buckets instead of getting the Berkey reservoirs that are made out of stainless steel, which is what really makes that item so expensive. Now, these 5-gallon buckets that I got, as you can see, I got 2 of them. They're food grade buckets, okay? So make sure that you get food grade buckets, and these are BPA free. All right, and food grade. And what you want to make sure is that when you get them, make sure that you clean them out really good. All right, so give them a good wipe down and then clean out the inside with some vinegar or maybe a little bit of bleach water, and that'll work. So as you can see, I've got 2 buckets here.
You say they are food grade.
They are food grade. That means that you can...
What letter?
What's that?
A, B, C, D.
I don't know
F.
what you're talking about. Victor, go away.
Is it good grade?
Yes, good grade. So ladies and gentlemen, you're going to need a drill with a 3/8 inch drill bit. These are spade bits. You can use these if you want, or just a regular drill bit. Okay, either or will work. And with a 9/16 drill bit as well. So you'll need a 3/8 and a 9/16. And I've already drilled the holes in these buckets, and I'm going to show you where I drilled them. And you're also going to need 2 lids. Unfortunately, when I went to the hardware store today, they did not have any of the white lids for these buckets. They only had the blue lids. However, these are also food grade. I'm not sure if they're BPA free or not, but as you can see, they're HDP number 2, which is food grade. However, as soon as they get white lids, I'm going to go ahead and replace this one with a white one. But I wanted to make sure that I got this today so we can do this. All right. So I also got another lid. All right. So I got 2 lids. This one right here is going to go on the bucket. It's going to go on top of the bucket that you actually use as a reservoir for the water. All right. This bucket here is the bucket where the filters are going to be inside of it. All right. And you're going to put your dirty water in this bucket, and the filters are going to filter it down to the second bucket. All right. The reservoir. For this bucket, what I did was I got a gamma ray or a gamma lid. I think it's called a gamma lid. Let me see. Gamma seal. Yeah. This is a gamma lid. So what these are is you are able to put the ring of the lid on the bucket, and it's sealed, And then you can actually twist these on and off. And I figured that this was a good investment to make, because since you're going to be putting the water in here, instead of having to try to pry that lid off all the time, all you do is just twist it off, put your water in there, and twist it back on. Okay, very simple. All right. So as you can see on this bucket down here, I used the 3/8 inch drill bit to drill 2 holes right here. All right. Same thing with this lid. What I did was I drilled the holes on this lid first, and then I put them on top of this bucket, and then I used the pen to mark the holes on that lid. That way it will match to the bucket. Okay, and then I drilled a hole in the bucket as well. Okay, so you can see that this lid right here has 2 holes, and they will match up with this bucket once you put the bucket on top of it like this. Okay, now there's only one other hole that I had to drill, and that was the hole on your reservoir that's going to hold your spigot. All right, so this hole right here took a, let me see, what size was that? A 9/16. Okay, so what I did when I drilled my holes was I drilled them so that the spigot and the filters would have to screw in there nice and snug. All right, even though we've got gaskets for it, I drilled it so that it would be a really snug and tight fit for the spigot and for the filters. So the idea is to take this spigot, and I'm actually going to do this right now. We're going to take this spigot, after having put the gasket and the outside metal ring on there, we're going to take this and screw it in there. And like I said, it's going to be pretty tight, but just be patient, it will screw in. And as you can see, when I drilled the hole, I didn't drill it all the way to the bottom. I left about 1 inch from the bottom, so that if for some reason there is any sediments in here, which there shouldn't be, all right, depending on how good you clean the inside. If for some reason there are any sediments at all in there, it'll drop to below the level of the water that is being flowed out through the spigot, okay? So all you have to do is just be patient, take your time. There's no reason to be in a hurry to do this, okay? And all you're going to do is just going to screw it in there. It's not going to get tight. It's going to stay loose, but you're going to screw it in there until it's pretty much seated. So I hope you guys can see that. Now you're going to grab your other gasket and your other metal ring, and you're going to put it in the inside. All right, you're going to do the same thing on the inside that you did on the outside. And I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not mechanically inclined, trust me, this is not hard to do. All right, anybody can do this. And I've got arthritis in my hands. It's not terrible, but I can still handle these things, and it's not difficult to do. Oh, I'm sorry. You see this nut right here? This is going to go right on the inside. All we have to do now is just put that nut on, and then we're going to tighten it nice and snug. And for that nut, you can either use a wrench, or you can just use a pair of pliers. And I had a pair of pliers handy, so that's what I'm going to use. Now this part here, you want to make sure that you're tightening this nice and snug, so you'll probably have to hold your spigot. Actually, I'm going to hold it down there. I'm just going to hold it down there, and I'm going to twist my spigot. Well, let me put this here so it keeps getting in the way. Alright. There you go, and you can feel it getting tighter too as you turn it. And ladies and gentlemen, please stay till the end of this video, because I've got an announcement to make, and I think you'll probably enjoy it. Alright, that looks pretty good. I'm going to give it one last crank by hand here. And now that I've done this with a pair of pliers, probably easier if you do it with a wrench, okay? Not that it was very difficult, but probably a lot more convenient. So one thing that I should have done before I put this in here, which is not that big of a deal, I can just take it back off and do it, is if you notice these O-rings or these little metal rings, they come with a protective cover on it that's made out of plastic. I should have taken it out of the inside before I went ahead and put this on inside, because now I'm going to have to take that off from the inside, okay? But like I said, it's not that big of a deal. You can either take it back off and do it, or just use my mistake as an example and take it off before you put it on the inside. But it's not a huge deal. Too easy. Okay, so now as you can see, your spigot is on. Easy. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this right here, doing this is going to save you about $200 when you think about it. Okay, so that's our first step right there after we drilled the holes. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll put that lid right there, and we're going to go ahead and prime our filters. Now your filters are going to come with a gasket, okay, or you can call it an O-ring, either or, and then they're each going to come with a wing nut. All right. They also come, that package also comes with an additional gasket and wing nut, right, as a spare. So it's nice to have. Make sure that if you do get this, that you don't get rid of this, that you save it, because it's nice to have that extra one. So now I'm going to show you all how to prime the water filter. Okay, and I've already got one over here on the sink. Let me go ahead and bring you over. Okay, and that's our water filter in there. All right, another thing that you're going to need is a primer. Okay, I've seen people on videos prime their Berkey water filters without one of these, but I went ahead and got one of these because they're just really convenient and they make quick work of it. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and fill up. You're going to find a container that's big enough where that water filter will be able to be completely submerged. Okay? There we go. And it has to be completely submerged, because if it's not, then you're going to be sucking air through here. Alright? And even if there's an inch that's not submerged, you'll end up sucking air and you won't be able to prime the filter. So we're almost there. And this one should be pretty quick to prime because I've already primed it once, just to make sure that this little apparatus here works. All right. All you're going to do is you're going to make sure you're sticking it down. As you can see that. Let me see if I can show you better. There you go. And all you're going to do is you're just going to go ahead and pump this. All right. You're going to let it fill up on its own. All right. And don't be in a hurry. All right, just be patient. And you're going to see that as you're pumping this, some of the water is going to start going down, some of the water level. And you can see that we've already primed this filter. Right? But I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take this filter out. Okay, as you can see, it started sucking water because it wasn't completely submerged. But this filter is completely primed now. So I'm going to take this filter, I'm going to put it to the side. And make sure that if you're doing it on your sink like I am, just make sure that your sink is nice and clean, okay? Let me grab the other filter. So this primer right here, it comes with 2 tubes and it comes with 2 check valves. There's a small check valve here and a small check valve here that allows you to pull the water out, but it doesn't allow any air to go in, okay? And it also comes with this apparatus that will twist onto the filter. Let me show you how that works right here. So all you're going to do is you're going to twist your filter on here. Alright, it's nice and snug. Don't put it really tight, okay? You're going to put your filter on there and then you're going to submerge it. submerge it, something like that. All right, I'm going to fill it back up with water because as you can see, we lost a lot of water from that other filter. Now this may take about a minute or so of you just pumping, okay? So you're going to make sure that you keep it down there. All right, so you're going to just keep pumping it. You're going to make sure that you keep it down there. And right now all you're doing is you're evacuating all the air that's inside of that Berkey water filter. All right, and keep your eye on the level of the water. As soon as the level of the water gets to starting to get below the top of the filter, you see it? Right? You're going to need to put more water in there. And I can see the level of the water dropping already. You really want to make sure that you keep putting more water in there, because if not, you're going to let air back into the filter, and you don't want to do that. So I've already probably evacuated about 4 ounces of water or 5 ounces of water out of there. And you're going to feel, as you're doing this, you're going to feel the pump creating a little more resistance and taking a little bit longer to fill up, because you're gonna be sucking up water. And there we go. And now this filter is also primed. So you can see. All right, that filter is primed. And you've seen that, ladies and gentlemen, it didn't take that long to prime that filter. So now we're going to take that off. Okay. That was probably one of the most difficult parts of doing this, really. Drilling the holes, very easy. You know, putting that spigot in there, it was easy as well. So I really want you all to do this because you know that water is extremely important. And having redundancy in your water preps is a lot better than not having redundancy at all. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do now is we are going to, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and take the camera and put it back where I had it before so that you can see what we're going to do next. Okay, let me go ahead and grab this. Trying not to stop recording by mistake. All right, and there we go. Not very high tech around here, ladies and gentlemen. So now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and place the filters in our top bucket. Okay, this is, I'll call this our dirty water bucket. We're going to place the filters in there and stick them out through this hole. Oh, hopefully you guys can see this. You see that? Stuck right out through there. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the other filter. Okay, here's my other one. I'm just going to push it right through there. And if you want, you can do a little twisting as you're pushing so that it'll come out. If you do a little twisting, it's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt the filter. Okay, now what you want to do, I hope that you guys can see this well. All right, I'm dripping water on the floor, but what you want to do now is you want to put the lid on there. Let me put the lid on there, and the holes should line up. Okay, let me go ahead and push it through. All right, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. That is sticking out from there now. Okay, so we're good. All right. Actually, you know what? I made a mistake on one of them, and it's going to be on this one. Let me take this one back out. And I'll show you what the mistake was. One of them is good, one of them is not. My arm is kind of giving me a hard time here, so I'm going to try to take it a little bit easy as far as pulling and pushing with my left arm. Okay, so I forgot to put my gasket back on this one. If you do that, then it's pretty much for nothing that you're doing this, because you're going to have contaminated water. Okay, so I'm going to push this through again. Through the lid. There you go. See, it's both sticking out. So now what we want to do is we want to take our wing nuts and tighten it down. And we're almost done, ladies and gentlemen. That's how easy this is. We're going to take our wing nuts. Hopefully you guys can see this well. And when I tighten down these wing nuts, I'm going to tighten it down as, you know, really, really snug. Because we want to make sure that no water can get through there. Right? Which is the purpose of those gaskets. There we go. Hey, what did you guys think about that moose that I saw yesterday on the side of the road? For those of you that saw the video that I did yesterday about why I'm glad that I moved to Alaska. And I'm just going to use this to give it a little extra snug. Alright, just to make sure that it's nice and snug, alright? Make sure you don't strip your threads. Alright, and there you go. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. We've got both filters in there. They're nice and snug. Now all we have to do now check that out. All we have to do now is fill this up with water. We fill this up with water and guess what we've got? Oh, this is a hair. This is a darn dog hair. Look at that. That's nasty. I don't like it. All we have to do now is fill this up with water. Let it drain. With 2 filters is rated at 2 gallons per hour if you have 2 filters, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put about 4 gallons of water in here. 4 or 5 gallons of water in here. And then I'm going to let it drain to the reservoir. And then I'm going to bring you guys back probably in about another hour or 2 and finish off this video and show you guys what it's like. Alright, how much water flow we get and everything. And I'm also going to do a water sediment test so that we can compare the water that comes out of my tap against the water that comes out of here to see what kind of a difference it makes. Now I haven't done this before with these filters, so I'm going to be very interested in seeing what the results are. Okay, so having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I'll talk to you guys in about another 2.5 hours. But through the miracle of technology, for you it should only be about 1 second. All right, so I'll see you in a few. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. It's been a couple of hours, and there was one thing I forgot to mention. So I did a sediment test on this about an hour or so ago. So it only took about an hour for these filters, for the 2 filters, to filter about 4 gallons of water. I did a sediment test and it was above 200, which is really not good. So then I went ahead and did a little research and I found out why. Nothing wrong with the filters. Since these are brand new filters, you're going to have to run at least 2 or 3 cycles of water through them to get that fine dust from the filter element out of there. Okay, and that's what my sediment stick was catching. Right, so I went ahead and ran 1 full load through here. Right, and this is its second load. And after its second load, it went from over 200 to the mid 150s or so, which is good. I've read that as long as your water's sediment is below 200, that it's safe to drink. All right, that's just what I've read, so don't take my word on that. Make sure you do your own research. However, looking at the water, the first time it looked really clear, so I was surprised that the sediment test came back above 200. But now it's in about 150 or so, which is safe to drink and it's good. And I'm going to show you it here in a second. So just remember that when you use your new filters for the first time, make sure that you run a couple of cycles through it. However, it's working great. What I did was while it was filtering through, I lifted the bucket up and I looked to make sure that there weren't any leaks around the gasket area, right? That way that no dirty water was getting through, right? And there wasn't any, right? So they're working the way they're supposed to be working. They're actually filtering the water at a pretty good rate. And I would assume that it's because they're brand new filters. Okay, so I want to show you what it looks like, and I actually want to taste it because I haven't tasted it yet, and I'll let you guys know. Now, the water that I get for my house, for those of you that haven't been here very long, I haul my own water. So my water system here is made up of 2 500-gallon reservoirs that I keep under the house. And every time that one of them starts getting about halfway or so, I have a 200-gallon tank that's in the back of my truck that I fill up at a water station. I call it the water shack. I fill up at the water station, and then I come here and I feed it to my tanks to fill them back up. All right, that's the way that I get water here in this area. And actually, I read somewhere that in Fairbanks, in the Fairbanks area or the North Star Borough area, that about 75% of the households in this area do that, which they're called damp, not wet, but damp homes, meaning that you have to get your own water. Okay, dry homes are homes that don't have any plumbing or anything like that, and pretty much you just have a 5-gallon bucket of water or something in your sink, and that's how you deal with your water usage. But like a damp home is a home where you have plumbing and you have water that's available to you. However, you have to feed water into a reservoir on a continual basis, as often as you need to fill it up. All right, depending on how much water you use. All right, so the water that I get from the water shack is really city water. It doesn't come from a well. It's city water, and when you get it, you can smell the chlorine in it. Now, the house filter that I have a house water filtration system that is just not really very, I'm going to say it's not the best. All it's meant to do is remove any big sediments out of the water. And it's also got a carbon filter. So it's 2 inline filters. It's got a sediment filter and it's got a carbon filter. And the sediment filter removes any large sediments in the water, and then the carbon filter improves the taste of the water. And what I use that water for is for our utilities, meaning washing dishes, taking showers, flushing the toilet, doing laundry. In addition to the house filters that I have a reverse osmosis system. I'm not sure if you can see this little spigot right here, but this little spigot is hooked up to a reverse osmosis system that makes the water almost pure. It brings the water down from about 170 ppms, which is what I get it at from the city, and it brings it down to less than 10. So I just checked this earlier today, and it was like 9, which is very, very good. Usually, if you buy bottled water at the store, just your regular bottles of water, usually they can go up to as high as 50, all right, 50 ppms, and that's still considered really good water. So my reverse osmosis system here is my primary source for drinking and cooking water, all right. The Berkey system here, the Alaska Prepper Berkey that we just made today, this right here is going to be my backup to my reverse osmosis system. If there ever came a time where we lost power and I did not have the ability to pump water throughout my household, this right here is a gravity-fed system which will allow me to take water, even dirty water, and clean it good enough to drink. Okay, so that's the story behind that. So as you can see here, hopefully you can see this. Right now I'm just pouring water into the jar. All right, and you can see that is very clean. All right, it's crystal clear, really. And I'm going to taste it to see if there's any any resemblance of any kind of chlorine or anything. There's absolutely no smell, which is good. It's good water. It's perfect. I would say that this tastes just as pure as my reverse osmosis. Even though I know that the ppms on this is probably still above 100. But like I said, the more that water that we run through the system, the cleaner that it's going to get. I'm assuming that eventually it'll get to be almost as clean as my reverse osmosis, but probably never as clean, because those filter elements are made up of like a carbon type material, and they will probably always give off a very small amount of sediment. Okay, but this is excellent water. So that's good. So ladies and gentlemen, check this out. This is what we did today. We made our own family size Berkey filtration system. All right, our own family size filtration system for less than half of what it would cost for you to go out there and buy one of those 4-gallon Berkey water systems. All right, water filtration systems. Okay, so this is what I'm going to ask you guys after I announce this. This is going to be our next giveaway. All right, this video acts as the entry for a giveaway of the Alaska Prepper Berkey water system. All right, I did not announce it on the title because since the giveaways are getting to be a little bit better, you know, than just me giving away a, you know, $12 or $13 bag of seeds. This right here, you're looking at about $170, $180 giveaway. I'm not giving away the buckets. I'm only giving away the parts that are necessary for you to build your own. So whoever wins this is going to have to purchase 2 buckets, 2 lids, right? And then you're going to have to do your own drilling of the holes and put everything together. And you can come back to this video, all right, when you get those parts and see how to do it. If you don't, you know, if you've never done something like this before, if you're not very mechanically inclined, you can see how to do it. But I figured that I would not announce this giveaway on the title so that those of you that have stuck through the video and are really interested in this can be the primary beneficiaries of entering the giveaway. So all you have to do for the giveaway, ladies and gentlemen, is the same thing as before. All you have to do is like, all right? Make sure you're subscribed and leave a comment, all right? If you like, you make sure you're subscribed and you leave a comment, you will be entered in the drawing, all right? And the drawing, I will announce the winner of the drawing, or I will announce the winner of the giveaway on, let's see, it's going to be, I think it's 2 Sundays from tomorrow. 1, 2, what date is it? Yes, it's going to be 2 Sundays from tomorrow, so I'm going to give it 2 full weeks, all right? So the giveaway will start tomorrow after you see this video on the 3rd of February, all right? And then I will stop accepting comments on the 16th of February, which will be a Saturday. So on Saturday evening, no, I'm sorry, on Saturday afternoon, because I'm going to have to do the video on Saturday evening for the next Sunday announcing who won the Berkey system, all right? So on Saturday at about 3 p.m., just like I did the last giveaway, so 2 Saturdays from today at about 3 p.m., I am going to go ahead and shut down the comments, and I am going to go ahead and do a video and say who the winner of the system is. So just to reiterate, what you're going to be winning for entering this is going to be the parts necessary to make this system, all right? Not including the buckets or the lids, all right? Which for you to go out there and buy some buckets and lids, you're looking at about maybe $15 or $20 for you to go get those things. But it would be too expensive for me to purchase those online and have them shipped to you. It just wouldn't make any sense. And I have a question for you all, and I would appreciate if you gave me a yes or a no on this question that I have for you. So there is another company that makes a replacement filter for the Berkey family size filter, like the ones that you saw that I used. and they charge about half of what, or a little less than half of what I paid for those Berkeys. So if you guys give me a yes or a no to the question I'm going to ask you, then I'm going to go off of that on whether I do a giveaway for one person or a giveaway for two people. Okay, so let me go ahead and grab the camera and I'm going to show you what I mean, because I have my computer up here and I would like to show you. So this right here is what the giveaway is. This is what I'm giving away. I'm giving away the Spigot, I'm giving away the primer, and the 2 Berkey water filters. Now, if I get a consensus from you guys that you wouldn't mind me giving these away, all right? And as you can see here, let me see if I can bring this down. This is a crystal drop replacement elements carbon Berkey replacement filters, all right? They look identical to the ones that I used here that are actually Berkeys. If you guys want me to give these away instead of the actual Berkeys, on the comments put that you want me to give these away instead of the actual Berkeys, all right? Because if I give these away, I can do 2 giveaways. I will do 2 of these along with the Spigot, and this comes with a primer too. All right, I'll be able to afford to give two of these away. So we'll have 2 winners, all right? And you'll be able to make your own water filtration system, okay? So you guys let me know, and I'm going to take it from there. If you want me to use these as the giveaway or the Berkey. If I do the Berkey, I can only give away 1 set. If I do these, I can give away 2 sets. And to tell you the truth, ladies and gentlemen, I did read up on these. It seems to me that this is a good product. I've never used this before, but to me it seems like it's a good product. However, you will have to be the judge of that. I personally am going to order a couple of these and test them out to see how they are. Okay, so keep that in mind when you leave a comment. Please leave whether you want me to do the Berkey or whether you want me to do these. If you want me to do these, I can do 2. And the Berkey, I can only do 1 because, like I said, the Berkey is about 2.5 times more expensive than these guys are. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that's going to be it for that. Uh-oh. Just a second. Sorry about that. I'm trying to put the camera back on because I have something else to cover here. Let's see. Hopefully I'm not dropping it. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope that you participate in the giveaway. Please give the video a like. Please leave a comment. All right. And please let me know whether you want me to give away the Berkey or the crystal drop. Okay. The crystal drop, there's going to be 2 winners. The Berkey is going to be 1 winner. All right, but either way, whether you win or not, I truly do hope that you go ahead and make yourself your own system. Because this right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is life. It really is. This is life. Without water, you cannot live. And without clean water, you cannot live well. Okay? You may be able to get away with drinking, contaminated water for a while. But I would recommend that you don't listen to Victor. And that you have a backup system to allow yourself to provide yourself clean water for you and your family should something ever happen where you're not able to get water or access to water in the manner in which you get it now. Okay, so that's that. So remember now that I will leave the comments open for 2 weeks from today. Actually, 2 weeks from today minus an hour, because it's a little bit over 4 o'clock right now. So today is Saturday, so 2 weeks from this Saturday, I will be stopping the comments, and I will start figuring out who the winner or winners will be. So what I wanted to do really quick is I had a question from a community member that I really wanted to answer. I actually answered it as a reply. But I want to go ahead and read you the question. And the question was from Alpha Dog. Okay, and I'm going to read the question real quick because it's a question that I've answered before. But I think it's important. I think it's important to go over some questions that you may have heard before because there's also new subscribers that are coming on all the time. And it's important for them to hear some of these questions as well. And then I also had a comment that I wanted to go over as well really quick. So the question is from Alpha Dog, and the question is, Alaska Prepper, out of curiosity, why are you prepping? What is the worst case scenario in your mind? And then Alpha Dog said, we'll love to hear. And what is the time frame that you're prepping for? And I'm going to go ahead and read the answer that I left as a reply. And this was my reply. And I say, I am prepping because I love my family and want them to have the essential items necessary to live in the case that there was a disruption in the supply chain for any reason. Okay, I don't have a time frame. To me, prepping is a lifestyle, as it was for our ancestors a century or more back. I feel that if you rely on a system that has so many points of failure as your main source of sustenance, that you are, in other words, putting all of your eggs in one basket. I like redundancy, and I like to have the ability to provide for myself when no one else can. I would say that the worst case scenario for me would be a long-lasting grid-down failure, but that depends on what the definition of worst case scenario is, because everyone's definition for a worst case scenario could be different than what mine is, all right? As it is different for different people. Okay, and then I put great question and thank you. So that was a great question, Alpha Dog. And a lot of people don't realize when they think about preppers, they just hear the word preppers and they go back to those Doomsday Preppers episodes that used to be played on TV. I don't even know if they're played on TV anymore, all right, because I don't watch TV. But they go back to those videos on their mind, and then it may make them think and or feel that preppers are kind of goofy and that they don't want to do that. But what you really want to understand, ladies and gentlemen, and this is really for those of you that may be on the edge of beginning to prep or don't think that prepping is necessary, what you need to understand is that the system by which we live today, right? And what I mean by the system is everything, all right? It has so many points of failure that if one of those points of failure stopped working or went offline, it can disrupt everything. For example, the internet. When I go to work, if we lose power or if we lose the internet, we can't work. Even if we just lose internet access, we cannot work. We're just sitting there doing absolutely nothing. Okay? If we lose internet capability, you know, on a systemic basis, meaning like nationwide or worldwide, there's not going to be any airliners taking off. No planes taking off, okay? There's not going to be any food being delivered, all right? Or at least in a very efficient manner, all right? Gasoline deliveries will probably go offline. Credit cards will go offline. And that's just one thing. That's just if one thing happens, just losing internet, all right? All of these things can happen, okay? So now let's say that we lost power. Even worse, if we lose power, guess what? Same thing. There's not going to be any airplanes taken off. Food delivery is not going to be very efficient, if at all. Okay, gasoline pumps aren't going to be working. All right, hospitals are going to be in a real mess. The average hospital has like between 3 to 7 days worth of backup fuel for generators. All right, so you do not have control of these things. We can't control what happens, all right, to the system by which we depend on. So the best reason I would say that you should start prepping, whether you have a family or not, all right, is that what would you want to do if one of these points of failures failed? Do you want to be one of those people trying to rush into a supermarket, trying to get a loaf of bread? Or would you rather be one of these people that said, okay, you know, we can hunker down because we have enough sustenance and we have enough of the things that we need to live our daily lives for the next 2 weeks or the next month or the next 6 months or whatever it may be. Okay? So that to me is the main reason why everyone should be prepping. All right? Whether you have a family or not. Because do you really want to be dependent on someone else during a time in which everyone else is dependent on that same entity? Okay? Because I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, if one of these points of failures did fail, you know, like I mentioned, either the grid or the internet, all right, EMP, whatever you want to call it, all right, catastrophic, Yellowstone, let's say Yellowstone goes off, right? Do you really think that the government, whom a lot of people rely on, do you think that they will be able to take care of 200 million people in 50 different states? Okay, I know for a fact that they won't. All right, it would be a logistical nightmare for them for the government to just try to take care of one state. And all you have to do is look back in history. Look at Katrina, look at Andrew, look at Maria in Puerto Rico. Look at all those, and those are just hurricanes. Look at the fires in California. I'm sure that there's still a lot of people from those fires that are homeless, that don't have a home to go back to, or that don't have a home that's theirs, all right, that are wondering what's going to happen as far as their housing goes, as far as them getting back into a home, into a rhythm, all right, just living life, all right. So if you want to depend on an entity that is going to be dependent on by a couple of 100 million people at the same time, then don't prep. If you want to make sure that you can take care of yourselves and your family during a crisis that you can't control the outcome, you can at least control having the sustenance and the things that you need to live, all right, as normal of a life as you can during that crisis without having to depend on handouts from the government. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you this right now, and this is what I believe. The government gives handouts. They don't give hand-ups, all right? Because what the government gives, it can take, all right? A hand-up is when you're empowered to provide for yourself. A handout is exactly what it is, a handout, all right? So if you don't have a family and you don't think you need to prep, then I believe you're wrong. And you should really take a look at what's going on around us these days and really ask yourself, who can you depend on to help you when the lights go out? All right? Think about that. Okay? So that was a great question, Alpha Dog. I know I blabbed on a bit long for that question, but I really just want to make it clear to people that maybe are on the line of whether they want to prep or not prep, that, ladies and gentlemen, we're really on our own. All right? I'm lucky to have a pretty good community around me. And when I say on our own, I mean that we really cannot rely on the government to help us. All right? And we really cannot rely on our neighbors to help us if we're not bringing anything to the table. Okay? Because eventually they're going to be like, hey, all you're doing is costing me food that I can put in my family's mouths. What are you bringing to the table? What are you doing? All right? So you need to be prepared. If you never have to use your preps, that's a beautiful thing. That's a blessing, okay? So if you never have to use your preps, just consider that a blessing and then leave it for your kids. And they can do whatever it is they want to do with it once you're gone. Because once we're gone, we have no say in the matter anyways. But while we are still here, we do have a say in the matter, all right? On how we handle ourselves and how we take care of ourselves and our families. Okay, that's enough. The second one was, and I feel a little bit bad about this one, was by David Armstrong. And when I answered David Armstrong, I was a bit tired because I'd already answered I'd already replied to about 40 or 50 comments, right? And David pretty much said that, you know, what he pretty much said is that, and the video was the one about, I think it was about the grand solar minimum, cooling, whatever it was. And he pretty much said, how can you be sure that the information you're citing is true? You know, how can you really be sure? And you know what? And when I answered him back, I probably didn't do it in the best way. And I'm really glad that he came back with another reply because David's a good man. Or a good, yeah, you're a good man, David, unless you're a she, and I don't know. But David's a good person, and I'm glad he replied back because I sounded a little standoffish in my reply. So I apologize for that. It's not really my intent. But like I said, I'd already done about 40 or 50 replies to comments. I was a little tired. And let me explain something really quick before I continue on with David's comment. ladies and gentlemen, I try to reply to every comment. If I put a heart and a thumbs up on your comment, it means that I read it. So if I don't reply to it, it just means that I read it, all right? And if there's like a question in that comment, or I think that I should really reply back, then I will reply, all right? But don't think that I just put a heart and a thumbs up just to do it to get you out of the way to make you feel good. No, I don't. I read every single comment, even the ones that are this long. And we've got a couple of community members that can write. Let me tell you that. And I sit there and I read it. All right. So just know that I do read your comments. However, it's getting more and more difficult for me to keep up, which in a way is a good thing because it means that our community is growing. Okay. And I appreciate all of you that are here. I may have to come up with something later on to where maybe I'll only comment or reply to comments for the first 1 or 2 days that video's been uploaded, all right, so that I can have time to reply to comments of newer videos. Okay, so I may have to do something like that in the future, but that's a good problem, all right? I'm not complaining. That's a good problem, all right? So I just wanted you all to know that. Now, what David said, though, it made me really think. You know, he has a really good point. He has a really good point because who do we really believe? I mean, think about it. When we live in a world where white is black and black is white and true is false and false is true and war is peace and peace is war, you know, who can you really believe? And I guess that my best answer to that is all you can do is do your own research, do the best that you can, and then go off of that. Go off of what you think, what your heart feels about that situation. When I do my own research, I try to look at history and see how it correlates with the information that I'm putting out. For example, when I go ahead and tell you guys about the grand solar minimum, for example, I look at the information that's being put out, and then I look back in history. I try to take a look at the charts that go back. But then again, are those charts really real? You know, how do I trust those charts? I don't know. But I try to take that information and look back. Like, for example, the last grand solar minimum ended around the late 1800s, right? And it was going on during the 1700s when we were having the Revolutionary War. And as I mentioned in one of my other videos, that you notice how Washington was crossing the Delaware and that the Delaware was frozen where it normally is not. And it's because they were going through a grand solar minimum. So that's how I try to justify my own curiosity as to where the information that I'm reading or that I'm putting out to you guys is at least a bit accurate, all right? Or the best that I can actually get from, you know, whatever small amount of research I do. So, but I just wanted to make sure that I told David that I think that he has a very good point. And I also replied to him that in a way we all live in our own reality, because only you can choose to believe what you want to believe, right? So it makes kind of sense. So I'm very glad that you actually made that comment, David, because it actually made me think. You know, we have to live with the choices that we make, all right? So whenever I put information out there, I always tell you, do your own research. Why? Because if you just go off of my information, all right, you're living off of the information I gave you. So do your own research. That way you can live off of the information that you feel is correct for yourself, okay? Because I may put something out there that's crazy, all right? And if you just believe me, it's the same thing as you looking into the mainstream media and just believing everything they tell you. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave it really quick with that because I think I'm running out of room in the camera and I am starting to blab. All right. So, you know, putting a nail on it real quick, make sure you do your own research. All right. Make sure you do your own research. All right. You're not going to learn anything unless you do it yourself. Okay. Don't just listen to what someone's telling you. All right. I have all of the very best intentions, but I am only human and I can be wrong and I have been wrong. All right. So I count on you guys to keep me on the straight and narrow path. All right. So that I can provide you guys with better information. And if I do make a mistake in anything, please shout it out. because if I make a mistake, I need to come back and let you guys know that I made a mistake. All right, that is very important to me. All right, because in order to be successful, you have to have good information. All right, ladies and gentlemen, remember, comment, like, make sure you're subscribed, and let me know if you want me to give away the actual Berkey, which will only be 1 giveaway, or if you want me to go with that other filtration system, which will be 2 giveaways. All right. Personally, I want to do 2 of them, but I'm going to leave it up to you guys. I'm going to count the yeses and the nos. And the yeses means that I'm going to give away 2 systems. The nos mean that I'm only going to give away the 1 system with the Berkey filters. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, thank you very much for everything. Okay, thank you for being here today. All right, if you're in the chat with us right now. You all know how to support the channel, but I'm going to go ahead and say it one more time because your support is what allows me to do these giveaways. So it's very important that I let you guys know how to support, and more important for the new subscribers that are coming on. Okay, so if you want to support the channel, ladies and gentlemen, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add my commercial that I made with Victor to the end of this video. Okay, that way you guys can get a little bit of a laugh and get the information you need. So if you want to know how to support the channel, please just stay on for the next 4.5 minutes or so, and you'll know how. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for now. We will talk to you later. God bless. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to support the channel...
What? What is it you want me to see?
Tell the community members what they can do to support the channel.
Give this man money.
No, not give me money.
Yes, this is how you can support the channel.
Well, that's one of the ways, but I don't necessarily need money. There's ways.
Give him good advice. He needs it.
Well, that too, but there's ways that the community can support the channel by doing things that they already do.
If they already do these things, why would they do them?
But to do it to support this channel, like for example, ladies and gentlemen, if you click on my Amazon link, you will support the channel. It won't cost you any more. Do you use Amazon, Victor?
Yes.
Do you use my link?
I can buy things now.
Do you use my?
I've been kicked out of every store now.
Do you use my link?
No.
Well, why don't you use my link? If you use my Amazon link, then the Alaska Prepper community is able to benefit from it because
my account is not allowed on YouTube.
Well, I use a lot of the revenue from Amazon. I use a lot of the Amazon revenue to give back to the community by doing giveaways.
You give back to these people?
Yes! They're my community members. Of course I have to give back. Didn't you enter the last giveaway I had?
No.
Well, you should enter the next giveaway. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to do this giveaway. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry for the distraction.
Everything should be free. This is how it is in Mother Russia.
No, everything is not free. Even if people tell you it's free, it's not free. So
it's definitely free.
Finish telling the community how they can support the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, you can support the channel by using the Amazon link. It doesn't cost you any more. You can also support the channel by letting 1 or 2 of the ads that come up during the videos run through so that our channel can be credited with that ad. If you press the skip button, do you ever press the skip button?
Yes, every time your video pop up.
Why are you pressing?
Every single time. Garbage. Garbage channel. I would not support.
Why will you
dismiss this video? Do not use.
If you don't press the skip button, it gives the channel a little bit of revenue so that I can do giveaways. I like doing giveaways because it allows new preppers to get some cool stuff that they can use for their prepping endeavors. Do you understand that? That's why I like to do it.
You take this revenue and instead of buying vodka,
I'm not going to buy vodka with it.
You give to these people who definitely will not use to buy vodka.
Well, they don't get the money. They get an actual prize in the mail. I have it mailed to them.
I sell it. Buy vodka.
Well, here's another way. I know you like precious metals, right? You say you like silver for making silver bullets to kill werewolves. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in the market to buy some precious metals, please take a look at my SD Bullion link below. Every time that you register to SD Bullion, the channel gets some credit for that as well. And the revenue that I'm going to get from SD Bullion, if anyone registers with them, I'm going to use to give away silver. What do you think about that, Victor? Do you want to use my SD Bullion link so you can buy yourself some silver?
Silver sounds nice. It does.
You like the
indeed.
silver? Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you can dig in your pockets, you're more than welcome to do a super chat during our live chats. And you can also buy me a coffee by taking a look at the link down below. Do you like coffee, Victor?
Coffee. What is this coffee?
You don't know what coffee is?
Coffee.
You just like, do they have coffee flavored vodka in Russia?
They have what?
All right, we're going to go ahead and leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. So remember to be good to each other, because when good people do good things,
Good things happen.
remember to reach one, teach one.
Repeat this. When good people do good things,
No,
good
no.
things happen.
Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place. Very
Yes,
good.
there we
And
go.
you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper,
And Victor.
and we're out.
Goodbye.